Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
On today's Smart 7, energy prices set to climb again, US shocked by new school shooting, and much more. It's Thursday, 28th of August, it's National Bow Tie Day, and happy birthday, Jack Black.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
It may still technically be summer, but there are warning signs already that this could be a tough winter. The energy price cap is set to rise again, up by 2% for gas and electricity, which will see at least £35 added to bills for most households. It's another blow to consumers' wallets with inflation climbing, but Tim Jarvis, Director General of Markets at Ofgem, says the rise is also partly due to the expansion in the Warm Home Scheme.
The increase this month is related to the increase in the Warm Home discount, so that's an expansion of that scheme that the government has announced. We've argued in Ofgem for some time for an increase in support for those on lower incomes, so it's welcome to see that.
The government says it's crucial that the UK develops more clean energy sources, and Energy Minister Michael Shanks says the long-term plan for lower prices depends on the success of GB Energy.
And so the only way to do this is to deliver clean homegrown power, but that also gives us energy security because it's power that we control here in this country. It's good for the environment, it's good for jobs, and it helps bring down bills in the long term.
The Labour government pushed back on Reform's new immigration plan on Wednesday. Nigel Farage has proposed deporting hundreds of thousands of people and also threatened to withdraw the UK from the European Court of Human Rights, which could jeopardise the Good Friday Agreement. Nick Thomas-Symonds is Minister for EU Relations, and he was highly critical of the rhetoric from Reform, but also said that the government takes Farage's party more seriously than the Tories.
At the moment, that is the case, because the Conservatives are essentially, well, they're like a party that simply has nothing to say. They're not on the pitch. And so this is the position that there is in British politics at the moment.
Nigel was busy in Scotland accepting the application from former Tory member of the Scottish Parliament, Graham Simpson, who is throwing his lot in with Reform. There were plenty of questions over Reform's immigration plans, and Nigel backed down on the suggestion that women and children would be deported. However, he was firmly against the idea that Reform is just a new version of the Tory party.
I'm absolutely not going to allow this to become the Tory party 2.0. But and I'm not going to be a vehicle for those just to rescue their careers in Parliament.
US President Donald Trump chaired a White House meeting on Wednesday on Gaza, attended by his son-in-law Jared Kushner and former British PM Tony Blair. The meeting was intended to focus on plans for a post-war Gaza, but there has still been no agreement on a ceasefire, and Israel continues to ramp up its forces for the promised assault on Gaza City. Meanwhile, with a famine now declared in parts of the territory, it's not clear when any ceasefire might take effect. But Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff says the conflict should be wrapped up by the end of the year. Former US State Department advisor Aaron David Miller has doubts that the meeting will have any significant outcome.
I'm far from persuaded that this is serious. A meeting like this, if it wasn't tethered to a galaxy far, far away, would involve key members of the national security team. Right. I'm not sure a meeting like this would be announced in advance.
A Catholic school in Minneapolis was the scene of a school shooting on Wednesday. The attacker, who has been identified as a former pupil of the school, opened fire through glass windows as students gathered for the first mass of the new school year. At least 17 people were injured and 2 killed, an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. The attacker was discovered at the back of the church, dead from a self-inflicted wound. The shooting has shocked America with its brutality and saw Minnesota Governor Tim Walz speak with President Trump and messages of condolences from Pope Leo. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey was upset and angry about the attack.
Don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church. These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, in association with Metro, Man United crash out of the Carabao Cup and John Bishop heads to Hollywood. Right after this.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Welcome back. Emma Raducanu is through to the third round of the US Open after a straightforward win over Janice Chen. Fellow Brit Cameron Norrie is also through, although Jack Draper injured his arm and had to pull out of the tournament. Wednesday night also saw 4 Carabao Cup matches, with Everton, Fulham and Brighton all heading through to the third round. Man United travelled to face League Two side Grimsby and found themselves 2-0 down before half-time. They battled back for a draw and then faced a 25 penalty shootout, which Grimsby eventually won. United manager Amorim was shocked and apologised to fans, while Grimsby manager David Artell was delighted with his team.
We've got an unbelievable group of players as well who want to play for this football club, want to live in the area, want to get better every day, want to be coached. That's a big thing.
Dame Jacqueline Wilson is a bit of a legend when it comes to children's literature. She's the author behind the Tracy Beaker books, and at one point she was the most borrowed author from British libraries. Earlier this year, she published her first adult book called Think Again, which was a sequel to the Girls series. It became an instant bestseller, and now she's turning another one of her children's books into an adult sequel. The original was published in 1999 called The Illustrated Mum, and the new follow-up is called Picture Imperfect. Jacqueline spoke to Radio 4, and she says it's been great to discover what the characters are up to now.
I started it thinking, gosh, I've got to get my mind now into a 33-year-old. And somehow I find it easier to write about 10-year-olds. But as soon as I started typing, somehow she came alive for me. And I can't remember a book that I've enjoyed writing as much.
Here's a sentence you don't hear every day. There's a new comedy on the way directed by Bradley Cooper about the life of Liverpool comedian John Bishop. It stars gravel-voiced Will Arnett, who you may know from Arrested Development, BoJack Horseman, or even Lego Batman, and he also wrote the script alongside Bishop. It seems an unlikely mix of Hollywood and Merseyside, and just to confuse matters, it's set in New York. Arnett plays a man on the brink of divorce who discovers comedy just as John Bishop did. Laura Dern and Bradley Cooper also star, and it hits cinemas in December.
So what? You tell jokes?
Well, I mean, I try. It's more like kind of funny stories from my life. And
oh, honey, I had no idea your life was this bad.
Yeah, what's funny about your life?
This is why she threw you out!
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.
From real-world inspiration to the industrial metaverse to total immersion. Innovate at the speed of software within the industrial metaverse. Transform the everyday with Siemens.